look at that.
I know.
Oh my word.
I know. Alright, we are streaming. Oh, we don't need this anymore. We have our live dashboard. The resolution is coming up. We are live on that. We need to set to record. Can we record on your phone, please? Just
Yeah.
as the backup. Thank you. Something come up. Yeah, we've got something come up on here. Can we hear ourselves? Can we hear ourselves? That is the question. Why is this not playing? Can we hear ourselves? Yes.
The answer is
there
yes.
we go.
Right, ready?
Go, right, yeah. Go record, and this is what you missed last week.
The whole Liam Kumar Day effect. Not really happened.
Nigel couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I ran out many more. He said he could make it.
Don't take this home. Phil,
It's back.
this guy.
Jingle's back. I
There
don't know how well
it
they
is.
can hear it coming out of my Alexa.
You guys got a trophy? No. It was breathing.
Nah, my life from Richard Mendes.
Oh, no, I cut out the wrong time.
Oh no!
Yeah!
No, it's I think that's one way. It's a really good way to start the show today because we had a little snippet there of the infamous "I'm a tank."
Yes.
I'm a fucking tank.
Our favourite.
By Phil. That is the fun. I think that is probably the best thing in all 10 and a bit years of what we've been doing here. But it is nearly 10 years old.
Yes, well, actually, I would hazard a guess that it perhaps even is more than 10 years
It's
old.
possibly more than
because,
10 years.
we did that in my school project for media studies.
That's true.
So
actually.
we would have been in year 10 or year 11.
Yeah.
I believe the league started in 2009 was our first year, so
Yeah.
we would have been in year 10.
It'd have been, yeah, we would have
Perhaps in year 9.
been.
The first full season would have been.
Yeah, it would have been year 10.
Year
Just
10.
about. Just about.
Yes, sorry, yes, it would have
So,
been. Yes.
yeah, I mean, that's probably is now. Coming up for
There you
that.
go.
Just about now.
Yeah.
So, Phil's been a tank for 10 years. I reckon that's what
He has
really.
been a tank for 10 years.
I think Phil, you should change your teams to the 10-year tanks.
The 10
And on that, welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the LOC report. We are here for our final episode before LOC Christmas itself, the real draft on Sunday.
It really is.
We'll cover off stuff with that in a second. But I would like to welcome back. He's been gone for a week, but he has returned. He's been Christopher Columbusing his way around Portugal without the genocide. How are you doing,
Yes.
Chris?
You know what that's genocide these days, yeah. Obrigado. Yes, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm really good. That's it. A little bit red, that's it.
That's
Maybe a
fine.
little bit, but I'm good. I'm feeling very relaxed.
Yes.
Very full of life. Very
Good.
mock drafted now.
Yes,
3 days away
indeed.
doing nothing. So.
As you can see on the screen right here, we have the first round of the mock draft we have just conducted ourselves, not to mention all the ones we've been doing personally, I'm
Yeah.
sure,
No, that's
recently, which we'll get to the one on the screen in a bit. But for the time being, we will go to league news.
Yes.
And you know what league news means, Chris? You know what league news means?
I do.
It means...
There's a jingle.
If my volume was up. Excellent. What are you doing? Oh, this is a
Let's
nightmare.
dub this in later.
Here we go.
That's great.
League news is back.
There
All the
it is.
jingles are back.
Oh, they're huge.
They-
That's
yeah.
it. Got to try these out as the season goes on. because,
Exactly.
that's it.
Last week actually went better than this week. It didn't help that my phone was connected to my Alexa still.
Okay.
Then I turned it off and forgot my phone was muted.
Ah, shit.
So, but for the final jingle we have in this show, we'll be fine.
Good.
There you go.
I hope you're looking
There you
forward
go.
to that already.
Anyway, that was the league news jingle, so we have some league news. Yeah, draft this Sunday. Be at the office for 11 a.m. There is only going to be, I think, 5 of us physically in the room.
Yeah.
And I did toy with doing it here just because that's all of us. But I was like, even if we did it in the living room, we'd still need something to put various laptops and whatever on.
That's it.
So office just made more sense, at least for another year. So we'll see. So office, 11 a.m. If you're not there in person, we'll have some dial-in options. So Ben will be Skyping in, Phil will be Skyping in, and Ollie will be doing some sort of online
Yeah.
by poolside in Spain, dialing in.
Sounds fun. Viv's going to be eaten by a bear in Alaska.
Yeah, don't know what Ross is doing. Probably something for Jen's birthday.
Yeah. Definitely won't be there though.
No. Ollie Gardner's going to be getting his teeth smashed out with a hockey stick.
That sounds great. And our favourite enigma.
Who knows?
That's it. We just don't know.
We do not know.
So we could have like 3 auto-drafted teams this year, which could be fun.
Yeah, but we auto draft fairly. We don't
Yeah.
do it in the Joey.
That's it. We're not going to go best of it. We are all going to put our combined minds together.
Indeed.
Like Nathan and I have done here.
Yes, which we'll get
to get you a fair team, and I hope that you see that that's
Yes,
it. What you could have is probably going to be far different to what you will have.
Probably. And £3 subs. You must give me your £3 subs.
Oh yeah.
Before you're on the clock, because if you're on the clock and I don't have your 3 pick, I'm not accepting your pick until I have your £3. So,
Quite right.
Pat is the only one that's paid us yet. Well done, Pat. And this applies even if you're being auto drafted. Yeah, you had it fair first, so no excuses because we have quite a few people away. So it's not on.
Put
some people paying or not. It's £3. Come on,
Put some bank details on.
Yeah, I will post my bank details into not on YouTube and live stream, but I will post them in the group chat.
Well, you could. How many people can send you some money? So
Nigerian prince, mate.
We're not that sort of. Not that sort of cam.
That's true.
we don't do that here.
No, that's my after 11 count.
This is clean.
Right, so that's all the news I've got, other than obviously you're welcome to come and watch the first set of NFL games on the following Sunday around here.
Yeah.
Of course, I will have the option to host for those of you that would like to come and watch. But other than that, I will see you all on Sunday. Yeah, excited? You're looking forward to it?
I'm buzzing, absolutely buzzing for it this year. So, I mean, as I was saying earlier on, this does make my Sunday evenings. I have to say, it is very dull throughout the course of the year. You might have sunlight on your Sunday evenings throughout the rest of the summer, but now that's it.
As the winter nights roll in, you've got LOC football.
Absolutely, which and what more could you want? I love it. I love the NFL as much as anybody, and to have a new season is exciting. It really is. So,
absolutely. It's nearly here. 11th season. There you go. Oh, another bit of breaking news. How could I forget? The draft video this year is my best work yet.
Oh my word!
It's my best work yet.
Okay. You've heard it here first.
It's 14 minutes long.
Wow.
And it's epic. I'm very proud.
It being 14 minutes long is enough. Yes.
And the keepers videos were 14 minutes long, but this is 14 minutes of pure producing directorship.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
That's it. This is it.
So there you go. That's something to get you hyped for Sunday.
All right.
That's the news.
Already looking forward to that.
There you go. So we'll get straight to the mock draft then. So we usually like to have a crowd on the mock draft episode. Sadly, people are further afield for the draft this year, so it only makes sense they are also further afield for the mock draft. Is what it is. But hey, me and Chris had a great time.
We did.
And as it fell, luckily, we both were in separate halves of the draft. So I took picks 1 to 6, which were the Tuckfards, ADRZ, Fudge Flyers, Bedadnators, Ben Necessities, and Tom's Torrents. And then Chris took the latter half of the rounds, which was my team, Gridiron Gang, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Dream Team, Southampton Narwhals, Ixan and Pakistan. And of course, before we continue, Phil is watching live. If anyone else is watching live, please come along. We will interact. Phil says he's excited. He's going to enjoy. You think I'll pick first? Yes, of course. How could we forget? We have the old Nathwani rule. Maybe it was speaking specifically who we thought he was going to pick first.
Oh, I see.
But how could we forget about the Nathwani rule? We didn't make an assumption. Probably should have done for this.
Well, yeah,
but, he might not move. He might like number 9. It's not a bad spot.
It's the strength of the.
It's down to him. It'd be pretty funny if, after suggesting the rule, he then did not use it. And he's going to have to let me know because he's probably not got much signal in the Alaskan tundra. So
no, it's exactly that. So if he wants the first round pick, then he's welcome. Yeah. So.
Yes, I see you said who now, Phil. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, we'll get to the mock draft then. So we'll do it a couple. So we'll go round by round.
Let's do it.
Pick out interesting stuff. Maybe have a look at the teams, then we'll look at the overall team rankings.
Yeah.
I've actually had a look at the side. I didn't scroll to the top for the team, so we probably will not do the teams. But we will look at the rankings. So we have in the first round.
Just remember who we picked for you.
Exactly.
All right.
Top fives going Todd Gurley.
Going huge.
Going huge. They had him last year. We'll read it out and come back. Saquon Barkley to ADRZ. Alvin Kamara to Forge Flyers. Christian McCaffrey to Bedenators. DeAndre Hopkins to Ben Necessities. Nick Chubb to Tom's Tyrants, James Conner to Gridiron Gang, Pat Mahomes to Obi-Wan Kenobi, David Johnson to the Dream Team, Le'Veon Bell to Southampton Owls, Dalvin Cook to Ixan, and Joe Mixon to the Pakistan. So yeah, we'll start with the number one overall pick.
Yep.
Obviously, I was making these picks. Now, I could have had Phil making someone sensible, but he had Gurley last year. Gurley could still be a beast. There's obviously the issues with his knee and everything,
Yep.
but he is still firmly, at worst the second round, and he's even crept into the first round, I think, in ADP terms now. So absolutely could see Phil going back to well.
Yep, I wouldn't write him off, that's for sure. I think if you're going to pick him, you're going to have to pick him early because
Phil's not going to get the shot.
No.
I wouldn't think.
I don't think so.
At
Based on
round
where he
2,
is,
3, no.
exactly that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, if you want someone, you've got to go for him. I think Phil is, either it's not mad enough necessarily, but I think that he's bold enough.
It's bold. It's going against the grain, certainly.
Yeah.
Those 4 running backs that we see mostly straight after there: Barkley, Kamara, McCaffrey, and who's the other one?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. Elliott, he's further down, as you can see right at the bottom there. But those are, the 4 at the moment. So really, the first 4 picks. So.
Exactly. No one excites me that much
No.
in there.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of the guys you expect to go in the top 5, as you say, and then there's him. And I think that you can really pick these guys in any order you want. You're still going to get some great value.
Hopkins is the first receiver picked at number 5.
Yep.
He could absolutely blow over this year, and it was certainly in the wake of Miller's injury. It's been a long time since we've had a quarterback go probably higher than round 3. Maybe we've had some round 2s.
Aaron Rodgers
I cannot remember the last time we had a round 1 quarterback. It would have been a while ago.
A long time ago.
A while ago.
Yeah.
But if anyone's going to do it, it's Patrick Mahomes. So we shall see. Other than that, probably nothing else of great interest in round 1. So we will go on to round 2. We have Kerryon Johnson to Pakistan, Travis Kelce to Ixan, Ezekiel Elliott to Southampton Owls, Devontae Adams to the Dream Team, Devonta Freeman to Obi-Wan Kenobi, Tyreek Hill to Gridiron Gang, Julio Jones to Tom's Tyrants, Michael Thomas to Bare Necessities, Odell Beckham Jr. to Bedenators, Juju Smith-Schuster to Forge Flyers, Damian Williams to ADLZ, and Mike Evans to the Top Forwards. So a pretty, I think you could say, run-of-the-mill second round. Maybe some eyebrows at Kerryon Johnson going so high, but Pat did have him last year. We have the first tight end, of course, going pick 14, second pick of the round. And of course, in the new format, we do not have to start tight ends. Kelsey's probably that good, though, to go in that
I totally agree. He's not far off, receiver 1 numbers, I think. So, yeah, I totally agree with that. I think there's a lot, you could do an awful lot worse than having Kelsey in that round.
Certainly.
As high, especially as he's going before guys like Tyreek, guys like Julio, guys like Michael Thomas, Juju, all those guys down the bottom there who are established number 1 receivers. You could say that Tyreek and Travis Kelce do have a very different approach to.
Travis is quite stable.
Yeah.
And Tyreek is very boom and bust.
Absolutely.
Speaking of boom and bust, the 15th overall pick of the draft here, Ezekiel Elliott. I guess when you were picking this, you kind of forecasted that Elliott may not be there
100%.
come Sunday. So Ross takes a chance on Elliott there.
He does.
We can't really comment much at this time. That's what Chris has forecasted for the mock. That's what we've got. Certainly he'll be higher if he does report before.
100%. I think he'll be in that, definitely within that maybe top 3.
Yeah.
I think if he reports. But if say he's falling down to round 2, Ross ends up with Lev Bell as his number 1, and then potentially Elliott as his 2 if he turns up. If he doesn't, we'll see later on as to what goes on. But someone's got to take that risk, and if that risk doesn't pay off, then that is the aim here in fantasy, isn't it? It's taking risks and hoping they'll pay off. So
Devontae Adams, he I think has an ADP in the first round, so he slips to the second. Freeman, his ADP is around pick 30 at the moment, I think. So bit of a jump there. And then Julio Jones, he's slid right to Tom at 19. Tom would be ecstatic if that happened on draft day. Michael Thomas as well, going at pick number 20. So some great value at the back end of the second round.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, totally right. I think for the first time in a long time, you can say that there aren't that many streaky picks. There's as we've seen, there's only one or two.
Yeah.
You'd possibly question mark, and even then you can replace them from the guys in round 3. It is fantasy wise, it's very strong.
Yeah.
In the first maybe 2.5 rounds this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And then round 3, then that half you spoke about. So we have Phil. He just selected Mike Evans, and now he's going Antonio Brown. Leonard Fournette goes to ADRZ. Chris Carson to Ford Flyers. Keenan Allen to Bednaders. Adam Thielen to Ben Necessities. Aaron Jones to Tom Torrance. Melvin Gordon to Gridiron Gang. Murray Cooper to Obi-Wan Kenobi. George Kittle to Dream Team. Stephon Diggs to Southampton Knowles. Derrick Henry to Ixan. And is it Josh Jacobs?
It is.
To Pakistan, thank you. Antonio Brown, if you've been watching Hard Knocks, you'll know all about his feet and helmet issues. That's not some weird fetish, before you ask. No, it might be. I guess it is. But certainly, based on talent, even with Derek Carr, that's, he could certainly outperform.
He's way better than anything else that they've had in the last at least 3 seasons there, receiver wise. Amari Cooper's good, but he's not Antonio Brown.
No.
To be honest.
And Phil says that's if he's found his helmet. Well, you won't be taking him there if he hasn't got his helmet. Chris Carson's been a riser through the draft process. Third round is firmly where he is now. Anything else of interest? And Melvin Gordon goes to me. We've forecasted, and again, we've got to assume that you were thinking that's not reporting
exactly
by when we draft on Sunday for him to go there. He'll almost certainly be a top, a first round pick if he does report before then. We have our second tight end, and George Kittle going to the Dream Team at pick 33. He obviously had a crazy year last year.
Yeah, maddening.
You think he's going to repeat?
I think, bearing in mind that he spent most of the year without his first choice QB, for sure. When you've got, when you've got guys who just aren't Jimmy G thrown to you, and he's still doing what he's doing, then for sure. I guess he was used a lot because he was a bit of a safety blanket, and using that sort of setup. But at the same time, he is a bit of a physical freak, as we saw.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think, I see if he's not going to repeat, he's going to get very close.
Sure.
Injuries prevent him from doing that. But they have got a lot of targets there in San Francisco this year.
Yeah.
They're sort of they're a sneaky under the radar offense there, I think, provided they can keep Jimmy G fit for most of the year.
Indeed.
But I do. I really like the guy. I think he's an absolute machine, and we've seen tight ends be proper value before.
Yeah.
Who play a very similar way. Gronk played a very similar way, but possibly a bit slower in terms of how he ran.
Yeah, he's a bit more of a big receiver.
That's right, exactly that. So for sure, good value there, as we saw with Kelsey earlier on.
Yeah. And then the first rookie of the draft, Josh Jacobs, going to Pakistan at the end.
I think Oakland are going to rely on him a lot this year.
Yeah.
From what we read, they like what they see with him. They didn't draft him as high as they did in the draft this year for no reason. I think whether you like him or not.
There's no one else that they've cut Doug Martin now.
Exactly that. That's it.
They've got Jalen Rashad, but
that's right. Yeah. Exactly that. Exactly that. So I just don't see it. I just don't see them doing anything else apart from leaning on him. I think that's a great pick.
Round 4 then, we have Brandon Cooks to Pakistan, Robert Woods to Ixan, the double LA connection there.
Yes.
Zach Ertz to Southampton Knowles, Marlon Mack to the Dream Team, Mark Ingram to Obi-Wan Kenobi, Julian Edelman to Gridiron Gang, Sony Michel to Tom Torrance, Deshaun Watson to Ben Necessities, Philip Lindsay to the Detonators, Aaron Rodgers to Ford Flyers, Tyler Lockett to ADRZ, and Chris Godwin to the Tuck Fards. So, right at the top we've got 2 LA Rams receivers going back to back there.
Yes.
And then we have Zach Ertz coming in, who obviously had a great year last year as well. So you're assuming that the good times are going to keep rolling for Zach Ertz. Marlon Mack is potentially an eyebrow-raising pick. So I think his ADP was in the 3rd round. So you've certainly adjusted for the luck loss impact here, but there are some circles that don't think the effect will be too great on Mac because they'll probably become a more runner-oriented team.
Yep.
Maybe the touchdowns come down a bit, but that's probably what you're factoring in. So
yeah, I think so. I think he's going to get a lot of volume now that Jacoby Brissett's the guy there. You know, so they're not going to air it out as much. They can't air it out as much. He does benefit from a fantastic offense and especially offensive line. So yeah, I think Marlon Mack there would be an absolute steal. I think anybody who can get him in the 4th round is he's getting very, very good value, as you say. Come back to Ertz, you know, it's that QB thing's exactly the same there. Is that you know, Nick Foles did a very good job last year, but he's not Carson Wentz, and he's not this. It doesn't bring that sort of A game to the offense there. And you know, I think they brought in a lot of guys this year that that can threaten his targeting. You know, so I think they sort of rehabilitated Aguilar. They've obviously got
Deshaun Jackson,
Jeffrey
drafted
still
JJ
there.
Arthur, got Whiteside.
Yeah, so Jordan Howard, he's there and he catches stuff. So you know, but Ertz is still a fantastic red zone target. You know, so, and outside of Jeffrey, I think that he's the guy.
Yeah, certainly probably one of the top two options.
Definitely in his position. Yes, as we've seen. Yes, it's certainly top 4 as well.
Yeah. Edelman goes to me, which would be great. I don't think I've ever had Edelman. We have the second quarterback drafted in Deshaun Watson. Certainly in the wake of the Miller injury, he'll probably be throwing it a bit more. He was already probably the consensus number 2 quarterback in fantasy as well. Yep. So Philip Lindsay goes to Bid-Ednators here. Now I picked this one. Now this is slightly ahead of his ADP at the moment. He had a terrific year in year 1, but I think a lot of the experts seem to think that he'll lose some work to Royce Freeman, and obviously Flacco's there, who's going to be more competent at passing to receivers. The combination of Keenum and Simeon and whatever it was.
That's right. Flacco still has a great arm. Yeah. But are they going to want to protect him in the sense that are they going to want that sort of easy option out, which Freeman doesn't give? Obviously, that's it. Yeah. And he showed last year that he is a playmaker. I think that year 2, there's obviously no expectation. He's great after of the waivers. Year 2 is very, very different.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to the well. That's what this
100%. 100%.
And then we have you going with Aaron Rodgers there, looking up a nice QB.
Oh, tasty.
Yeah, and not much else there of interest. But round 5, we have T.Y. Hilton to the Talk Files, Matt Ryan to ADRZ, Cooper Kupp to Floyd Flyers, Baker Mayfield to Bid-Ednators, David Montgomery to Bare Necessities, Mike Williams to Tom's Tyrants, Tevin Coleman to Gridiron Gang, Kenny Golladay to Obi-Wan Kenobi, Carson Wentz to the Dream Team, Miles Sanders to Southampton Armors, James White to Ixan, and OJ Howard to Pakistan. So we spoke about Mac and his impact. T.Y. Hilton was also a player that was being drafted in the 3rd round, and he's dropped all the way to the 5th here to the Tuck Pods, who he's been playing for previously. You know, it's tricky to gauge. You have got a season of him with Brissett to go off of, which was okay. It was okay, but different system now. They've got Frank Reich there. Brissett's, he's actually had, I don't know if you remember, but he got traded pretty much just before week 1 the last time, and he got thrown in. So he's actually been in the system now for a while. So it'll be interesting to see that. Then the quarterback run has officially started in round 5. 100%. I think it's fair to say. After Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers going, we have three more quarterbacks going this round. Yep. We have David Montgomery to go to Bare Necessities. Bears rookie. That seems like a logical connection. And Miles Sanders, the Eagles rookie. Wow, he is another player that shot up draft boards. The further you go through the process, so there you go. Round 6, AJ Green goes to Pakistan, Drew Brees to Ixan, Russell Wilson to Southampton Owls, Calvin Ridley to the Dream Team, Tyler Boyd to Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jared Goff to Gridiron Gang, Austin Eckler to Tom's Tyrants, DJ Moore to Bare Necessities, Alshon Jeffrey to Bid-Ednators, Evan Ingram to Forge Flyers, Josh Gordon to ADRZ, and Cam Newton to the Tuckfield. So, a couple of interesting things in this round. We'll start off right at the top with your pick, AJ Green to Pakistan.
Yep, 100%. Yep, he's going to miss a couple of weeks, but let's be honest, that's it. We're looking at some upside here, and AJ Green has the upside when he returns. He's going to be the undisputed number 1. It's whether or not he comes back into shape, but we have seen that in the last couple of years where he has hit the ground.
If he's on the field, he's a good wide receiver 2 with wide receiver 1 upside.
100%.
the knock on him in the past few years has been health. You might get him back. How long are you getting him back for is the question.
Exactly.
But I think I agree with you. For a 6th round pick, you're certainly willing to find
There's
out.
an awful lot worse there, yeah.
We've got quite a few more quarterbacks in this round. Breeze, Wilson, Goff, and Cam Newton at the end. So that makes sense. So I think once the run started, it goes. Oh, we've got a bit of a fight in the old Lincoln Everton game right here.
Oh dear me, yeah. There's a scrap in the goal. I haven't seen this for a while.
That's not sure what started that one.
I don't know.
What else we got? We've got Austin Eckler's an interesting one. Now, Tom had both Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler, I believe, last year. We've assumed in this mock draft that Gordon isn't going to be back, so round 6 for Eckler probably seems about right.
Yep, 100%.
But
that's it.
We shall see.
He's got standalone value. We saw that a bit last year. So he's a very different type of back, obviously. But yeah, I think there's a good value in a round where it's difficult to find real value, because after this, really, it's a lot of dart throws. But it's a calculated gamble based on what you've seen in the last few weeks surrounding Gordon's availability in the first week or two, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if he wins a couple of weeks in the first couple of weeks, first couple of games in the first couple of weeks, then great. He's sort of worth it.
Yeah, like you said, though, he's still got standalone value, so it kind of it's the risk even if Gordon does come back. Alshon Jeffrey back to the Detonators. He obviously was traded to the Detonators last year, so going back to the one again, and then another tight end to you there, Evan Ingram, and the final interesting thing, Josh Gordon. To ADRZ. So I think ADRZ added Josh Gordon last year when he got traded to the Patriots, or something along those lines. And he obviously left of his own accord, got suspended again, and he's back on ADRZ. So there you go. Yeah. It'll always be interesting to see what happens next with Josh
I'm just looking at this fight going on here.
I'm not really sure what started it. I didn't see anything wrong. It's just a Lincoln player wanted to start a fight.
Gylfi Sigurdsson's just got booked for doing nothing. So literally, you can get booked in football for doing nothing.
Yeah,
So,
he did not do not.
There you go. Oh,
He got an early bath though, by the looks of it.
I think he got sent off. Yep. Oh yeah, no, did he get booked twice?
Or subbed.
This is crazy. This is like, I think he got subbed. He got subbed. This is it.
Round 7.
back to this
Tariq
sport.
Cohen to the Tuckfords, Alan Robinson to ADRZ, Hunter Henry to Forge Flyers, Duke Johnson to the Detonators, Latavius Murray to Bare Necessities, Will Fuller to Tom's Torrance, Jarvis Landry to Gridiron Gang, Kenyon Drake to Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darius Geis to the Dream Team, Robbie Anderson to Southampton Knowles, Lamar Miller to Ixan, and Jimmy Swinson to Pakistan. So let's go back to the top. Duke Johnson to the Detonators.
Yep.
This has a Detonators pick written all over for me here because Lamar Miller's got injured. Johnson feasibly has a great opportunity ahead of him. Will Texans sign anyone? Will that person take anything away from Johnson? Who knows?
Yep.
But Coach Burdett seems like the one who's going to find out.
I think down there as well, it's definitely worth it. But yes, he's coming with only a summer to learn the system. He's coming, but look, it's it. You can't turn down the appeal of someone who's going to be getting RB1 volume and may not quite be up to speed yet. So I think that's great. I mean, you look at these sort of other guys that are being drafted in this range. Look at Geis, as you say.
Right below him, I think
Latavius
Murray is.
Latavius Murray, yeah, all right. Exactly that.
If he fills the Ingram role last year, he'll certainly pay off a 7th round.
Yeah, exactly that
pick.
for sure. But yeah, so you could do an awful lot worse. I think Tariq Cohen up there too. Yeah, so again, if he's time sharing with Montgomery, as it's possible it's going to happen, then again, different sort of back.
Yeah.
And but to find someone who is going to be a fairly surefire RB1 is pretty rare, and in a fairly good offense as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Apart from the offensive line, the weapons on that offense.
That's right. And Duke Johnson's got everything. So he can run, catch, and run quickly.
Exactly.
That's the point.
Exactly.
When you look at guys and you look at Kenyon Drake down there, we forget Miller because we're sort of trolling Ben a little bit. But if you look at you look at Drake and Geis there, and those guys are in terrible offenses in not very good. The teams that they're playing for aren't in great places right now either.
No.
And you think to yourself, what good are they going to do? Well, again, you got to find out, but they are surefire RB1s. Even Geist is really that now.
If they get the volume, yeah, absolutely. Landry goes back to me as well. Adam Archer,
Yes,
of
indeed.
course.
Yeah. That's
And you gave Lamar Miller to Iksan. We jokingly put in the chat it would be Ben that picks him and Luck. Or you just wait till the next round, ladies and gentlemen. And Pat gets his quarterback, Jameis Winston.
Yes.
Phil has come in here. Gilf tried to keep the ball after the goal, and Jordan Pickford ran from his penalty area to get involved. Well,
So why didn't Jordan Pickford get booked then?
Yeah. Why didn't he get booked? And why does Gilfie Sigurdsson getting the ball means he?
That's
gets
it. Exactly that. There is no
That
reason.
explains nothing, Phil.
The FA Cup is mad.
A Carabao Cup, even. Round 8 then. Kada Samuel to Pakistan, Andrew Luck to Iksan, Marvin Jones to Southampton Knowles, Jared Cook to the Dream Team, Didi Westbrook to Obi-Wan Kenobi, Royce Freeman to Gridiron Gang, Rashard Penny to Thomas Torrance, Jordan Howard to Bare Necessities, Christian Kirk to Bedernators, Sammy Watkins to Wood Flyers, Vance McDonald to ADRZ, and Phil Rivers to the Talk Fights. Now you can squarely tell that we are into the speculative part.
Very.
Ignoring Andrew Luck to Iksan, which would be hilarious, but probably not.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's going to become the,
Good on retire.
assistant manager.
Yeah. So there's the 3 dart throws. We have the first, I think, proper handcuff. Maybe not. It's tough to say. You've got guys like Royce Freeman there and Rashard Penny, and Jordan Howard, who it's to be determined if they're going to have much of a role.
Any
in the
sort of
offense.
role,
So, or there could be could it be a split backfield, or could it be nothing? We don't really know. That's kind of what you see in round 8. We have Phil taking his second quarterback. You'll note 2 rounds ago, Phil took Cam Newton. He has taken Philip Rivers here. Phil has a penchant for tanking 2 quarterbacks.
That's it. Just a bit of insurance as well, just in case Cam decides to have a Cam year.
Which we'll see,
as in a last year,
yeah.
as opposed to like 3 years ago.
Which we'll see will absolutely not screw Tom completely, but doesn't help Tom a lot in this round because straight away we've got, what's the guy's Henderson's first name? Do you know?
Darius.
Let's go with that. Darius Henderson to the Tug Cards. Sean McCoy to ADRZ, Kareem Hunt to Forge Flies, Kyler Murray to Bedernators, David Njoku to Bare Necessities, Ben Roethlisberger to Thomas Torrance, Dante Pettis to Gridiron Gang, Kalen Balazs to Obi-Wan Kenobi, Emmanuel Sanders to the Dream Team, Bez D to Southampton Knowles, Matt Breda to Iksan, and Eric Ebron to Pakistan. So, speaking of handcuffs, Phil is handcuffing Todd Gurley here with Henderson.
Yep.
We also have our first IR player, I think, in Kareem Hunt. Who you'll be able to stash him away.
Yep.
If you get him on draft day. Kyler Murray is an interesting one.
Very much
Obviously,
so.
he's a rookie as well. We saw what happened with Patrick Mahomes last year.
That's it. This is the smallest QB in the league by a distance.
Yes.
Now, whether that matters or not,
He's also the quickest.
Yep. It didn't do Doug Flutie any problems for many years.
No.
So
Indeed.
there you go. That's it. If you want a legend who's under 6 foot, who's a QB, that's about all I've got.
There you go.
But yeah, he was excellent.
So Tom's starting quarterback is Ben Roethlisberger, which you probably won't be happy with on draft day if that happens. We also have the first defense going to Ross with pick number 106. So there you go. Phil says Gilf scored, ran to the goal to get the ball, and when the Lincoln player tried to get it back to restart, he wouldn't give it to them, so it caused a skirmish.
Ah.
There you go. That's
There
a
you
bit
go.
more deserving of a yellow, I
That's it.
suppose. Round
Indeed.
10 then. Sterling Shepard to Pakistan, James Washington to Iksan, Marquez Valdez-Scantling to Southampton Knowles, Adrian Peterson to the Dream Team, Geronimo Allison to Obi-Wan Kenobi, Tom Brady to Gridiron Gang.
Of course he does.
Yes, he does. Lamar Jackson to Tom's Tyrants, Tony Pollard to Bare Necessities, Darwin Thompson to Bedernators, Corey Davis to Ford Flyers, Larry Fitzgerald to ADLZ, and Sean Jackson to the Tuck Farts. A few interesting things in this round. So we have 2 Green Bay receivers going within 2 picks of each other.
Yes, indeed.
Sandwiched by Adrian Peterson, who just keeps going.
I see. Yeah, I'm not sure how, but he is.
Yeah. Tom Brady goes back to Gridiron Gang. I would be very ecstatic if that happened as well.
Yes, indeed.
And Tom, he got Roethlisberger, obviously, as we saw in the round previous. Lamar Jackson might not be an ideal situation, but I'd say it's a pretty good pairing in terms of
Different sort of QB altogether. Yeah,
well, you've
for
got
sure.
a safe guy, in Roethlisberger. and then you've got Jackson as the lottery ticket.
Lamar runs around a lot. I think that's his biggest thing is that is how many rushing yards will he get this year. Yeah, he's got to pass a few times, but he's definitely got two receivers that and a decent tight end as well, I suppose. That allows him to do that. But yeah, his real value is in the ground, and I think there's a lot of hidden points there this year for anyone who's bold enough to take him.
Absolutely. Then we have Larry Fitzgerald, the old dog, keeps going.
He keeps going
near the end of the round, and Deshaun Jackson as well. Spicy pick to top.
That's absolutely.
Round 11 then, if you'll recall, we only have 13 rounds now, so we're getting at the end. Jaguars to the Tuck Fards, Peyton Barber to ADRZ, Rams to Forge Flyers, Ravens to the Detonators, Dante Moncrief to Bare Necessities, Courtland Sutton to Tom's Tyrants, Jalen Samuels to Gridiron Gang,
Handcuff.
Handcuff indeed. Vikings to Obi-Wan Kenobi, DK Metcalf to the Dream Team, Delaney Walker to Southampton Owls, Ronald Jones to Ixan, and the Browns D to Pakistan. So quite a few Ds went in this round. We also had both of the Buccaneers running backs go in this round. And as you say, Chris, Handcuff. So there you go. Round 12, anything? There wasn't really much else there.
There wasn't a lot. I think the one thing I was DK Metcalf could be the real value pick there.
Yeah.
Because I think he find himself in a decent offense with a decent QB, and he's a wide receiver too. Especially when you've got someone like Tyler Lockett, who's definitely the locked in one, but he's a slot receiver.
Oh yeah, there's
when you got a big guy on the outside, that's value down there, I think. So. If you were to get him in round 11, you'd think,
oh my word,
what a goal! Oh my days! Lincoln have just equalised. That's it. And there's some dancing going on. And there's no shoving this time though, because they realised how good that goal was.
Indeed.
That's it. Loving it. There you go.
There you go.
But not as good as the pick of DK Metcalf.
No. Round 12, we have Tyrell Williams to Pakistan, Texans D to
Same
Ixan,
story there.
Dak Prescott to Southampton Owls, Chargers D to the Dream Team, Anthony Miller to Obi-Wan Kenobi, Patriots D to Gridiron Gang, Greg Zerline, we have our first kicker to Tom Tyrants, Broncos D's Bare Necessities, Justin Tucker to Detonators, Stephen Gostkowski to Forge Fires, Harrison Butker to ADLZ, and Will Lutz to the Tuck Fards.
Yeah,
not much to
we're getting into kickers and D's
yeah.
mode now. Tyler Williams down there though, he's dropped a long way since last year.
Yeah, indeed. And round 13, Devin Singletary to the Tuck Fards, Cowboys D to ADLZ, John Brown to Forge Fires, Michael Gallup to Detonators, Giorgio Tavecchio to Bare Necessities, the Eagles D to Tom Starrance, Adam Vinatieri to Gridiron Gang, Graham Gino to Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jake Elliott to the Dream Team, Jay Sanders. Is that the Dolphins kicker?
I guess so.
Okay, to Southampton's now it is Zen Gonzalez to Ixan and Cairo Santos to Pakistan. Now, if you couldn't figure it out, with exception to my team, every kicker pick there has relevance. I guess you could even say my team. Vinatieri was a Patriot. Gano is obviously the name of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Jake Elliott is the Eagles kicker, which favours a supporter. Sanders is the Dolphins kicker, of which Ross is a supporter. And you get the picture. Arizona for Ben and Tampa Bay.
You got someone to support at least.
Exactly.
That's it.
And then, there's a few interesting picks in this round. John Brown and Michael Gallup as last round flies.
Yeah, that's it.
And even Devin Singletary, I would say.
Very much so.
So that was all the picks. Unfortunately, on the right, as you can see, I didn't scroll to the top for each individual team, so we don't have that view, but that's okay. But we have something equally interesting. We do like our post-draft rankings.
Yes.
We usually go off these ones, which has the correct scoring for our league. And we also go off the Fantasy Pros ones, which I think my dad usually has.
Yep.
Before we get into that, Phil has said, what a hit, son, what a hit.
That's it. Kidding, Indeed, yeah.
So we have the rankings here. So at the bottom, predictably, with drafting Lamar Miller and Andy Andrew Luck, Ben is the bottom. I don't know what's worse, the fact that Ben is bottom with that, or that there is two teams, only decimals in front of them. In Pakistan, you can see on the screen right there, and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
In fact, can I bring it up? I think it should have hopefully pat over to here. So I'll read you out the starting lineups. Bear with me 1 second, dear listeners. It's decided to start a mock draft for me. That's helpful.
There we go. We don't want that.
We don't want that, indeed. Where are we going? League manager. Right, there we go. It's just figuring out rosters. So we'll start with, we'll go bottom to top there, Ixan. So, Ixan is here. Started Drew Brees, pretty good. Skill positions, as we know, that's what we're going to call it from now on because it's not defined. We have Travis Kelce, Robert Woods, Dalvin Cook, James White, and Derrick Henry. And then kicker, we have Zane Gonzalez and Texans D. I think it might be being a little harsh with putting Ben at the bottom there. So you can see what it doesn't like. It doesn't like the kicker, which I can understand.
Yeah.
Arizona's kicker. And it doesn't like the running back wide receiver flexes. That's probably the James White pick. He had a terrific year last year. Projections on here are quite harsh actually. I can read the projections. It's 310 rushing yards, 670 receiving yards, so it's about 1,000 yards, and then about 7 touchdowns, so that's about 140 points. Just for comparison's sake, last year he had a combined nearly 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns, so it's quite the drop off it's projecting.
Yeah, that's it.
What do you think of his team? I don't think it's bad. Derrick Henry's a risky pick as well, potentially. You never know.
If he can absolutely go. The difference with Derrick Henry is that he can be the Derrick Henry of the last 4 weeks of last year or the Derrick Henry of the first 6 weeks of last year. You just don't know. He should be the one of the last 4 weeks because he should finish where he left off.
Indeed.
But yes, I agree, and I think that if you stick with him and he does well, then there's every chance that he can win you a league.
Certainly, yeah. If he's a wild
because he looked like an absolute world beater in the last 4 weeks last year for sure.
Pakistan's team then, so next up there, but without the excuse of drafting 2 injured or retired players. So they have Winston at quarterback. Skill positions are Brandon Cooks, AJ Green, Joe Mixon, Josh Jacobs, and Kerryon Johnson, with Santos as the kicker in the Browns defense. So again, it's going to be knocking Pat here for AJ Green's projection. That is the highest of the skill positions he has, including the bench. So it's not all down to the injury, but certainly that's lowering it. And the Cara Santos isn't projected for much as a kicker, as you can see on the red there as well. Also doesn't like Winston as a quarterback much. He's certainly not one of the top options, but I think you can see there's a 20.9 that isn't in the red, and that's only 0.3 decimals behind.
That's right. I think if you take AJ Green out for the first few weeks, put in OJ Howard, and Howard turns out to be the red zone target with Winston, you're in for a winner there. So yeah, I don't see that being too much of a problem from that.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, we have Patrick Mahomes, Amari Cooper, Tyler Boyd, Devonta Freeman, Kelly Golladay, Mark Ingram, and then a kicker Graham Gano in the Vikings defense. So
I got no problem with that.
Yeah, I mean Mahomes obviously loves there. I think its issue comes with Tyler Boyd and Kenny Golladay. Looking at this mostly, it's projecting 129 for Boyd and 143 for Golladay, which could be a bit pessimistic potentially.
100%, and then you look at the bench as well. So there's not a lot you can really do. You can Allison Miller, Westbrook.
Kenyon Drake's the next highest, but he's only tied with
very streaky Kenyon Drake this year, especially in Miami, who are desperate to get the first round pick next year. So.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Ben assessed his teams. So they are 4th last there with 88.9. They are a full point and a bit. A full point ahead of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they have Deshaun Watson at quarterback. Skill positions: DeAndre Hopkins, Adam Thielen, Michael Thomas, Latavius Murray, and David Montgomery. And on the bench of note is DJ Moore as well. So
that's a hell of a receiving core.
The thing probably, Hopkins, Thielen, and Thomas. The thing pulling this down is Latavius Murray. He's only projected 133. Maybe I'm pretty sure he drafted DJ Moore in ahead of him, which he's got a bit of a low projection perhaps in 130. So there you go.
There you go.
Tom's Tyrants. What do you make of that team?
That's it. I think it's a very Dave team to start with. Let's be honest. It's not. We've always said for all the years we've been doing this, his skill is the waivers and not necessarily drafting.
Indeed. Tom's team then. So you can see right there, it hates the quarterback. I think he has the lowest projected quarterback score per week there, with Big Ben. But then in the skill positions is where Tom's team shines. Julio Jones, Mike Williams, Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, and Aaron Jones. There is a lot of upside in that group there.
Very much so. That's it.
And Greg Zuerlein at kicker.
And the Eagles D, who's always been good on special teams, always. and especially on the bench as well. You look at that, Lamar, Will Fuller's obviously a massive boot
Austin
bastard. Cortland Sutton, who's a big target there, and Rashad Penny, who is potentially to do something, but he doesn't necessarily need him to do anything.
No, absolutely. So that's a pretty strong
like
team
that.
on paper. The dream team, we have Carson Wentz at quarterback, Devontae Adams, Calvin Ridley, David Johnson, Marlon Mack, and George Kittle at the skill positions. Jake Elliott as the kicker in the Chargers D. No one really of great note, perhaps, other than Jared Cook on the bench. What do you make of this?
Calvin is one of those guys that could break out. So he's the guy. He's the guy like Adam Thielen for the Vikings we saw a few years ago. You know that is now an established fantasy stud. And I think the back end of last year we saw a little bit less dependence on Julio maybe, and a little bit more going that way.
Yeah, I mean, so only 820 yards, but 10 touchdowns. It's fair to expect the touchdown number maybe to come back a bit, but you would also expect the yardage to probably offset it. Yeah. So his last year probably is his minimum points. 100%. We've got the Tuckfards next. So the Tuckfards are 6th in the rankings, I believe. What they are, there they are. So they have Newton at quarterback, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. That's funny. That's a very fun thing to do as well. Todd Gurley, and T.Y. Hilton and Antonio Brown as the skill positions. Will Lutz as the kicker in the Jags D. They've also got Rivers on the bench, Tariq Cohen and Deshaun Jackson of note, and they've also handcuffed Gurley as well.
If there's two receivers to like kind of double down on,
it's probably
it's them two, because it's
not Andrew Johnson and T.Y. Hilton,
and not this year.
Yeah, certainly not this year.
I don't know what shape Andrew Johnson's in. He's that Alex Iwobi's just scored for Everton. Good for him. Everton and Godwin have got potential to be really, explosive in that offense. Bruce Arians has come in there. He's been talking them up. He's talking that offense up. Godwin could potentially be the Larry Fitzgerald role there in that offense that he's bringing in. So I think that's great. And T.Y. as well in that mix too, and Antonio Brown. Yeah,
it's a team, and Gurley, if
Gurley's fit, and Cam Newton.
It's a very high upside team.
There's a very we will say this as well. There's a
low floor.
There is a low floor. Indeed, it's below sea level there. But as we've seen with Phil in the past, it doesn't matter.
True. My team now, Gridiron Gang. So they are 5th. I have got Jared Goff at quarterback. And skill positions: Tyreek Hill, Julian Edelman, James Conner, Tevin Coleman, and Melvin Gordon. That's quite the lineup. Kicker: Adam Vinatieri. Defense is the Patriots D, and then on the bench, Tom Brady, Jarvis Landry, Dante Pettis of note, with Royce Freeman and Jalen Samuels.
Dear me, that's it. What is that team?
Yeah, that's quite the side you've drafted for me.
That's quite scary there. I mean, even if Melvin Gordon isn't fit, you bring Landry or Dante Pettis maybe in there. Royce Freeman might do something, but I think the receiver first. But I think that's excellent. That's one of the best teams you've had for years. If that comes up.
Fair comment. So at the Normals, Ross has Russell Wilson at quarterback, and the skill positions: Stephon Diggs, Zach Ertz, Ezekiel Elliott, Miles Sanders, and Le'Veon Bell. The kicker: Sanders, and defense is the Bears. Not really much to speak of on the.
Yeah, he's relying a lot there on his starters. So I think if Elliott doesn't turn up, which I don't think won't, I think he will turn up. I think sense will prevail. I said this last year, but sense will prevail eventually. I think Jerry Jones and Zeke want to come to a conclusion somewhere.
Yeah.
I think that if that comes off, that's it. He's got himself a really decent running back.
It's an interesting blend. Like you say, Elliott's the wild card there. Sanders and Bell as well.
I like Bell more. I don't like his team that he's on, but I like the fact that he's going to be the guy there. I mean, it doesn't matter about anybody else really. He's the guy. Sure. So we'll see. I think there could well be a bit of a committee in Philly as well, which is a bit of a problem.
Third highest scoring team we have projected then is ADLZ. Matt Ryan is the quarterback. Skill positions: Tyler Lockett, Allen Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Leonard Fournette, and Damian Williams. Kicker: Harrison Butker with Cowboys on the defense. And then on the bench, Josh Gordon, Larry Fitzgerald.
I hate his bench.
2 players. Yeah, Lance McDonald, Peyton Barber, and LaShawn McCoy.
I hate his bench. His bench is absolute guff. But this is Nige we're talking about. So these guys will all be like Hall of Famers at the end of the year. Yeah, I said, but his starting lineup is excellent, especially his running backs. If that came off, I mean that's a hell of a team.
Phil has come in here. You guys have got it so wrong with regards to my team.
Well, that's sort of the point of this. If we drafted your team now, it wouldn't be much fun on the day. So
I think it's a smoke screen. I think he's just trying to throw us
That's
off.
it.
I reckon we've nailed it.
I think you're high upside team, Phil. I think we know you by now.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, we know you're going big. Go big or go home. That's what the type 5 should be. Or the 10-year tanks, as we've named
The
you.
10-year tanks. We get to your team now, Chris.
Oh,
Number
very
2. A distant second, I will say, but number 2 nonetheless.
Indeed.
Rogers at quarterback, Juju and skill positions, Juju Smith-Schuster, Hunter Henry, Alvin Kamara, Cooper Kupp, and Chris Carson, with the bench of Sammy Watkins. Kicker, Stephen Gostkowski, and defense, Ramsey. With the bench of Sammy Watkins, Evan Ingram, Corey Davis, John Brown, and Kareem Hunt, who would be in your reserve.
Take Kareem Hunt into the reserve. We bring in somebody else. So there'll be probably a handcuff there somewhere on the line.
Sure.
But
yeah, that's quite a good team. I'd say.
Well, yeah. So I like the fact that it's going to be heavily touchdown dependent though. That team. I mean, it's not a massive volume team. I mean, especially when you're dealing with
Kupp and Henry are going to be touchdown dependent. I think you'll get that with yards and just Kamara and Carson.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers in for a final swan song.
Indeed.
Before he goes back to the beach. He'll wonder why on earth he spent that many years in Green Bay when he gets back in his Southern California lovely sandy beach and goes, why am I in the fucking tundra for 6 months a year?
Same thing for Tom Brady.
Yeah,
He'll go back to California from Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's it. Alex Smith's just trying to run away. So.
Phil said, boom or bust. That is the definition of your team.
That is your team.
And will be on draft day.
That's it. You will be booming, you will be busting. Always.
And our top predicted team here, Bedena, is way ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
Nearly 4 points per week ahead of your team, Chris. Quarterback, Baker Mayfield. Skill positions, Odell Beckham, Keenan Allen, Christian McCaffrey, Philip Lindsay, and Duke Johnson. Justin Tucker as the kicker.
Going full Baltimore.
Ravens as the D. And on the bench, Kyler Murray, Alshon Jeffrey, Christine Kirk, Michael Gallup, and Darwin Thompson. I wouldn't have said the team is that much better than all the others. It is a good team.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for Baker this year. This is his make or break year for him because he does chat an awful lot of shit. And
he does like to run his mouth.
He does massively, and
he's got weapons now too.
Yeah,
you know he's had however many starts under his belt.
100%.
A whole year, and
he's got a lot of good receivers around him now. He's got all the tools that he needs. If he can make the potential that he's got work, then great. But I mean, yeah, him and Odell have to hit it off early. If that doesn't work, and especially as we've forgotten with all this the Cleveland stuff, is they've got a head coach who isn't really a head coach, is he at all?
He's just been hired from the offensive coordinator. He was the coordinator last year for them. That's worth noting, but it's very different.
If the Freddie Kitchens sort of experiment goes very badly wrong very, very early, then expect Cleveland to implode.
Yeah, that team has playoffs or implosion written all over it.
Yeah.
Probably nothing in between.
100%, yeah, exactly that.
So.
That's it. It's like Phil's team. And on that note,
we will play the music as we have it. So, thanks for watching the Mock Draft show. You will obviously have the results of the real thing on Sunday, and we'll be back sometime next week to review the draft and preview week 1. It's great to be back.
It is, absolutely. We'll see you again next week.
Have a good one, folks.
Yeah.